We are back with another sports rant. I know it's been a couple days since the last upload, but I'm doing my best to balance the work and the YouTube and the podcast life. So we're doing our best right now. So far, so good. We have a lot of funny shit to go over today. The first thing I really want to talk about, a story hit today that we have the NBA All-Star game coming up. We got a lot of the All-Stars were released and stuff. The funniest story I got, they made me just laugh out loud today, was Caitlin Clark, apparently, according to Jenna West and Ben Rickman of The Athletic, according to them, she denied she denied an offer to be at the NBA All-Star game coming up this month, and I thought that was so funny. That had to be the funniest thing. She was like, "No, I'll be there for the WNBA All-Star game in Indiana in July." And essentially, because they had that whole thing last year with Sabrina Ionescu, where they had the 3-point contest between Steph and her, and it was a whole big deal, and it got a lot of people eyeballs because Sabrina's a big name, but Steph is a big moneymaker for the NBA, and he was doing the 3-point contest, which he doesn't really often do. It's like people have lost interest in the All-Star game. The players have lost interest in the All-Star game. It sucked for a long time. So they were like, "Hey, Caitlin, will you come do the 3-point contest?" And she's like, "No." And I think essentially in her head it's like, "Yeah, fix your own rating problems." The NBA has been dry. I've talked about it before in previous episodes on Spotify. If you want to go check it out, their ratings are terrible, and I've discussed ways to fix it. But essentially this is what Caitlin Clark is saying. Is she's like, "No, fix your own rating problems." Since Caitlin Clark draws, right? That's something we've seen over the past couple years with her. She draws a lot of attention. She draws a lot of eyeballs. She's probably as big as LeBron and Steph in the basketball world right now. She's as big as any NBA star her age, and it is so funny to see, to be her little bro, the NBA All-Star, and be like, "No, you need me more than I need you, and I am going to support the thing that I am in right now, which is the WNBA," which is I respect that. That is valid. And she's like, "Nah, pass." I don't need that to get attention. I can, there is other ways. I heard Colin say today, as I was watching him this morning, he was like, "She's Taylor Swift in sneakers," and I was like, that's a good line. She is Taylor Swift in sneakers, except for, I don't know. I feel like I like Caitlin Clark's basketball more than I like Taylor Swift's music. Taylor Swift makes great music, but anyway, that's really what I was trying to get to there. It was more of, there's the NBA's All-Star, speaking on that, the NBA's All-Star game, they switch it up. I don't even know what it is, the entire rule. I think it's a 4-team, trivia, a 4-team, a back and forth. And it's what on earth what are we doing? I know it's, guys don't want to play in it anymore, but it's it's basketball. It's not I understand, because we have the Pro Bowl happening right now in football, And it's like, I kind of get that, where it's like, yeah, you don't want to try because you don't want to get injured for no reason for a meaningless game. It's like, but also, like, you don't have to, like, you guys don't try in regular NBA games. Why don't you just at least, like, make it a little interesting, right? It's like we got some decent ones when they were trying to, when they had the point threshold. Or when they had other, like, when they threw some things in there. Like, I mean, it's not going to be perfect. You're not going to make everybody happy, but the overall product, it's been shit recent for the most part. We've had like shitty dunk contests. Like it's like Mac McClung has had like 3 total dunks in his NBA career. They bring him up from the G League every single year just for the dunk contest, just because he can jump, and nobody else like in the league, like John Morant or Anthony Edwards or Zach LaVine or Aaron Gordon wants to do it anymore. So they're just like, they're like, okay, bring this guy, like, Mac McClung, he can do this, and, like, he's won 3 straight. And it's like, come on, guys. Nobody knows, like, nobody out of, like, I know who Mac McClung is because I obsessively watch high school, college, and pro basketball. And it's part of my life. I'm nerdy with it. And, so I know who Mac McClung is. But the average NBA fan, even like some casuals, they have no idea. It's like, who's this white boy? Who is this Joker, right? And it's gotten to it's become a bad, like the All-Star game was was supposed to be like a fanfare, like somewhere like I would like to go to an All-Star game. That would be cool because you get to see all the stars. They're all there, and it's like, oh, they're all doing some cool things. They're like all jumping around doing all this stuff, and it's like, but it's become irrelevant. The guys don't try, they don't care. It's like kind of like that boring. It's like whenever you're a kid and they're like, oh, let's turn a movie, let's have like kids will love this, and it's like everybody's like bored. It's like, why can't we just do like classwork, or why can't we just go home instead of sitting here and watching a movie, wasting our time essentially? And it's like, well, that's kind of what it's gotten to. It's like they rolled out the TV and they put in the VHS, and it's a shitty movie, and you're just like, why can't I just go home instead of having to sit here? That's what the NBA All-Star Game, that's what the Pro Bowl, that's what these kind of like exhibition, like company like fun days have turned into for the NBA and the NFL. That's really my take on it, is it's become like company fun day, and it's awful. Anyway, that's really my thoughts on it. Jimmy Butler is, he just got he's permanently suspended from the Heat. He is going to get traded. I saw some post on Instagram where it's like narrowed down to the Spurs, the Warriors, and the Lakers. Actually, no, scratch that. It's the Spurs, the Suns, and the Lakers. Those are the last 3. Those are the 3 teams he wants to go to. They're probably going to have to orchestrate. I've talked about this over and over again. They're going to have to orchestrate some deal. Whoever's getting him is going to have to pay him. That's why I really don't think it's going to be the Suns. It's probably going to be the Spurs or Lakers. And I think him with Wemby, like anybody who's going, like I saw that with De'Aaron Fox demanded a trade just recently. So him, I think the Spurs is like going to be like an interesting like landing spot for a lot of free agents, because so many people want to. It's like how people wanted to like play with like Steph, like how KD wanted to play with Steph, and how a lot of people wanted to play with LeBron, and they're all gravitating towards Wemby, and it's like, I think De'Aaron Fox and Wembanyama would be insane. Personally, that would just be like an insane duo. He does, like, Chris Paul and him have done great things, but like you add Jimmy Butler as a good wing defender. He's a good scorer. Like he is kind of like he's like LeBron light. He's not. He plays that small forward position. He can shoot threes. He actually is one of the few guys with a mid range still. And then De'Aaron Fox is just like super athlete, like 1% of the 1% kind of guy, where he can bounce out of the gym. He's a good point guard. He would work well with Wemby. He's about he's younger, so it's not like Chris Paul. Chris Paul is really at the sunset of his career, whereas like De'Aaron Fox, he is a veteran, but he's not as old. We can say that he's not nearly as old, so we should be good. He that would excuse me that'd be a nice landing spot for him, but you never know with these things. They get, it's like, oh, there's a lock that he's gonna go here, like he wants to go to the Suns, he wants to go blah blah blah, and it's like at the end of the day nobody has no idea. It's really the GMs who know what's going on, and Jimmy's agent and Pat Riley, who's like they're like, it's hilarious to see them try and outbid each other. But yeah, it's like, I know we have the Super Bowl coming up. I don't want to oversaturate these last 2 weeks, but I do have some last like couple like NFL things that to talk about before we're done with. We're never really done with the NFL, but before we're done with NFL games, I will talk a lot more basketball because I know more basketball. But at the there's a lot of been rumors going around about like Travis Kelce after the Super Bowl, whether they win or lose, is he going to retire? What's going to happen? So I looked it up. I did a little research on this, where it's like, where according to the Daily Mail, Travis is not planning to retire yet. I know it's kind of, this would kind of be like the storybook ending, right? If they win the Super Bowl, complete the three-peat, and he has really nothing else to prove. He would probably be the second greatest tight end of all time. He'll never really surpass that. He'll be at the pinnacle of his achievement. I think if I was him, I would retire, because like you don't need any more money. You're dating probably the richest woman in human history. So I think you would be. Don't fact check me on that, but she might be the richest woman in human history, and he's trying to get into acting. There's more things. He's like, we saw it this year. He took in the regular season, he took a step back. Even in that Bills game, he really wasn't a factor. So if they win, that's props to him. Like that's cool. Your wife's a billionaire, who makes music, who's probably one of the most famous people, like who will be remembered as like one of the most famous people of our time. Like, I think you're good, dude. I think you just like, you know what, you ride off into the sunset. You become an actor. You go for like, hey, maybe it's like we've heard all of these things where he's gonna propose to her after they win the Super Bowl, and it's like, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. That's just like the rumors. That's what kind of goes around. We'll see. That's really all I have for today. It's gonna be an interesting couple of weeks for sure. I'm gonna try and give you more Super Bowl content. There's been a lot of Brady Mahomes talk, but I really need to get to bed. It's late. I always decide to like record these at like the worst possible time, so bear with me. I had a tea of melatonin, so we gotta head out.